Good morning, or good morning. I shouldn't be doing this. Good afternoon, good night, whatever it is for you guys. Today is January 4th, and it's our first group Zoom for 2021. If you're not aware and haven't seen my post, I am struggling with the coronavirus. I dodged it for almost a year, but I guess it's eventually going to happen, right? I don't know. Hopefully not, because this has been rough. I have to tell you guys. I didn't want to cancel because it's important to show up and it's important to have a focus moving forward. If I laid in my bed and just, sorrowed in my pain, it's not going to help me get any better. So I goaled myself to at least get up, take a shower today, which felt really good, and at least show up for all of you because, you know, we need to be able to be accountable for ourselves and for others. And if I can only show up looking like hell, then I'm going to show up looking like hell. Not that you haven't seen me like this before, so it's. I just prefer you not to, if all possible. Um, I'm just going to make sure that I didn't. I didn't add the Facebook page. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. Is your word. Okay. So, today I don't have anything really planned out, with like I have two topics that I want to discuss. I'm gonna see if you guys can help me. Director Michelle Brooks is on. She is such a sweetheart. She's very good in this area, and she knows that I told her that pretty much I tend to have coughing attacks after I talk too much. So I'm gonna do the best I can, and then I'm gonna leave it up to her when she's available. She's just finishing some things up with her family, and then she's gonna try to pretty much like tie everything in for me of what I talk about and maybe add some things that I forget, or maybe she very likely has some more ideas that I don't have. So I'm grateful for her for being able to help me today. I'm doing this for the first time. I'm trying to actually share this to two different Facebook pages, my personal team page and then our group page. I don't know if it's going to work. So give me 1 second. Um, shoot. Looks like it's going to let me. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I don't think, no, nope, it's not gonna let me. All right, well, you guys will get, if they're not on live, you'll get it through the email. Okay, so today's topic is, what is your word for 2021? I felt it coming on. Hold on a second. What is your word for 2021? And what I mean by that is, what is your focus? And when we narrow it down to a word, it's something that kind of can trigger you to get back on track. So if your focus is for the year, which I'll share you mine is systems. I've had that word probably twice in my 10 years. And it was always when I needed to kind of like buckle down and reassess and really figure out what's working and what's not, and what I can add to my business. And here's something that I learned already. If you guys saw my post on my personal page about announcing that we have COVID, I know that there's a lot to learn from this experience. And one of the things I learned already, and it had to do with my focus word, which was systems, is I need to make sure that my mailer system is done well in advance. Meaning, I always did it like the last week of the month, so I can send it out. Or I gold to, and I can say always. Sometimes it didn't happen. Often it didn't happen. But I didn't expect to have the coronavirus, did I? I didn't expect to wake up the next morning like a truck hit me and not even be able to move. And so the last few days of of December, I was really thinking, wow, if I had the system set up that I was actually doing it the week I got my warmer and scent of the month instead of waiting another week, I would have had that done. And I could have put some gloves on and a mask and go and put it in the mail, right? But now I'm not only a week behind, I'm 2 weeks behind. So being able to really kind of plan ahead in case for things that push you back, which this obviously pushed me back. So that's what I learned, is that I not only have to be a week ahead of time, I need to, that's why they send our kits that early, right? I need to have that in my schedule the week that I get it, already planned, time already booked out, that that's what I'm doing when I get that warmer and scent of the month kit. So I knock it out, it's done. I hope I don't get the coronavirus again, although unfortunately they say you can get it again, a different strand. But it could be anything. You know, life unfortunately throws us curveballs all the time. And one thing we have to do is accept that and understand that the only thing we could do is plan, right? And have good intentions. And so when things throw you a curveball and you're kind of like, where do I start? I'm so behind. Having a word for the year is going to be able to kind of bring you back in and say, okay, where do I start? So for instance, if I didn't have that lesson that I already figured out, thank goodness, with this brain frog, I can't believe I even figured that out. But say I got, you know, next week I'm feeling like 100%, I'm ready to dive in and just be the person that I normally am. But I don't know where to start. By having that word systems, I'm going to be, it would wheel me back in and say, okay, what systems do I have in place that are already working? What systems do I have to adjust? And then what systems do I have to put into place? Meaning, what isn't happening right now that needs to? So I'd love for you guys to, and it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be something for your personal life. Your business may be running like a well-oiled engine, which I hope it all is, or it's even moving in that direction. But what is going to help you be able to move forward when everything, your business, your life, your whatever, is not going the way you want it to? And what's going to help you reel you back in? Okay. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about is we're going to go into some dream boards and why the importance of them. Sorry, what the importance of them are, and why you have to be consistently adding to them and changing them. Because once you achieve what you got on there, right, where do you go from there? And the idea is, a lot of people have never even done a dream board before. If you're one of those people, that's okay. The cool thing is that there's always a level to evolve. And when we do our first our first dream board, it's almost like, yeah, right. Like, okay, I'm going to be really open. I'm going to be, you know, dream big. I'm going to throw it out there. Nobody else is going to see this. They may think I'm silly, whatever. And you almost tell yourself it's not possible, right? But the cool thing about the laws of attraction is when you put it out into the universe, that's one of the biggest steps you're going to do for your business, for your life. The laws of attraction is so powerful that it pretty much takes the wheel of the vehicle for you and starts putting it in the right direction, just by that one very powerful intention of sitting down and saying, what do I want? What do I want out of life? What do I want out of my business? What can my business do for my life? And how am I going to go about doing it? And that is what's also going to help you. When you know what you want, then you can start, okay, I want this. What does it look like? And what actions do I need to take in order to get there? And so obviously, when you throw a dream board up, we want you to just be bold, dream big. Don't worry about people judging you, whether it's silly. I mean, you guys, I've had what's it called? Laser hair removal on my dream board before, because I cannot stand hair on my body. And so that, is silly as that is, that was my dream. Like, you know what? I don't want to have to shave anymore. And as materialistic and petty as it was, I was just trying to be as open and bold as possible. And the funny thing is, guys, that little small dream came about. I now have enough money, extra money, that I can utilize to do that small little need. Now, to be honest with you, that myself has changed, and my needs and my desires and what's important to me is different. So that's no longer a need that I utilize, if that makes sense. I thought that was something important to me at one point, but that was who I am then. So you may put things on your dream board that may seem important to you today that aren't for you tomorrow, because as you grow, your mind starts to change, your lens of the world starts to change, and what's important also changes with that. But don't be afraid to, whether you think it's something silly or not, to put it down there, because I achieved that goal. I just chose to not spend my money in that area, if that makes sense. I spent it in different places helping me with that little, need. But anyways, I just wanted that as an example. It's very vulnerable. Obviously, I'm kind of, it's a little embarrassing sharing that, but I want that to be an example of how silly and how petty you may think it is. If it's important to you, then put it on there. Because here's the thing, if you're not planning that this is something I want, it's not going to happen, right? You're not going to be taking the actions towards that goal and figuring out how much money is it? How much money is it? Do I have to go? I'm just going to stay on that same subject. Do I have to go just one time? Do I have to do repetitive sessions? How much is it each time I go? And, how much money do I have to make? Knowing all of that, how much is it, the total, process, and how much extra money am I going to have to make to achieve that with my Scentsy business, for instance? And then that's when you start to break down, okay, if I made X amount of dollars every month, how many months would it take me to get to that goal for my initial session, we'll say? And then how much do I have to put away each month in order to continue to make sure that process is completed? And I hope you guys are being just open-minded and kind of converting it back into your mind, your vision. And if you're listening to this recording or watching live and you're just like, I have no idea what I want, that's okay. Because when you start with a word, the word is going to start kind of opening your mind to new things. So I've had some examples of words. I actually posted, I should have pulled this up. I forgot I posted it, to be honest with you. On my Instagram, there's some ideas of oh shoot, I thought I did. Hold on a sec. Oh, the stories like go away, don't they? I think I have it in my pictures. Give me 2 seconds, because I wouldn't have been able to post it if I didn't have it in my pictures, right? Oh, good grief. Anyways, some examples of like a word, other words that people tend to do is, inspire, or oh gosh, I can't even think right now. But I hope you guys, you may have heard it along the road. You may have done it before. I'd love for us to open it up for some discussion in a few minutes. If anybody has ever done a word and how it's helped you. One year that I remember specifically, it was 2014 actually. And so I was about 3 years into my business, and I was having extreme health problems. Extreme. Like I was literally laid out for like weeks at a time. And I was really struggling. And the funny thing is that was one of my biggest growth years in my business. And I can honestly, literally say that it has to do with me putting this word into place in the beginning before I even knew that I was going to have these health issues. And it was health. It was literally health. And so by me focusing on my health, how am I going to be able to manage my day-to-day business operations, my family, my home, taking care of my kids, whatever I needed to do. And so what do I need to do for myself health-wise to be able to make that happen? And so although it started out to be, I wanted to lose weight, I wanted to be more energy and have physical strength, it actually turned into the health of just me being able to get through literally each day because I was in such a bad physical state back then. Because I had no idea I had these issues. Obviously, they've been managed since. But that year was managed for me because my focus was to stay healthy as much as I could. And again, like I said, it turned out to be one of the most biggest growth of my business besides this past year that I ever had. I earned top 100. That's the first year they did top 100. I went to Greece. I sponsored like an insane amount of people. They all did amazing. It was just a huge year for me. And so a word can really, when you feel like lost and just don't know where to start, it really can wheel you back in. So, hey, Michelle, I see that you're on now. So, would you mind kind of piggybacking on that and sharing your thoughts on those two subjects, if you don't mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, it looks super scary right now because I'm sitting in my car in the dark. So hopefully. Anyway, so it's interesting that you say that systems is your word for this year, because systems was my word for last year.
Oh, wow.
And and COVID hit, and so I had lots of time to think about my systems and what was working and what wasn't working for me. This year, my word is habit, because one of the things that I realized last year was, although I had systems in place, it was my habits of those systems that were holding me back. So this year, I'm really focusing on my habits and tweaking my routine and stuff like that. But one of the things that I do when I'm looking for what word I'm going to use is I journal a lot. And so I go back in my reflection. I usually start like the week before the end of the week of December, and go back and look through my journal and see like if there is an ongoing theme that I keep writing about, or that something that keeps happening that has been on my heart all year. And in this case, it was my habits. I was very frustrated that, just some of the things that hold me back is my habits. So that's my focus for this year. And but definitely, however, like your word, I would say, to add to what Jess says, is like it comes with reflection on where you've been in the last year and where you want to go this next year. And if you consistently feel like your heart is being pulled towards one direction, it even helps sometimes if you write words out, like where your focus is, and the things that even your word could even be focused, just write a whole bunch of words out that come to your mind in some sort of a brainstorming session, and then really go and look at those words and which one of those are on your heart the most, which one jumps out. Are there any that might be related to each other, like, and see how you can combine them into one. That's kind of how I come up with my word, and how I came up with my habits was just my word habits is just simply through reflection of last year. So, and then as far as the dream board, I have to be really honest. I did not do a dream board, and Jess knows this. I have never done a dream board like ever. And one of the things that I realized that was holding me back was because I was focused on it needing to be pictures. And so I would be like, I don't have the time. I don't have magazines laying around. I don't, do I search on the internet, and it was really holding me back. And so I just never did it. It wasn't because I didn't have a vision. It was because it was the pictures that were holding me back. So this year, for the first time ever, I was just like, you know what? Why am I letting this hold me back? So I actually put together in June a dream board for myself for the very first time, and it was all words. It was on note cards that I had in my desk, and I just used thumbtacks and pinned them to my cork board in my office, and I just wrote out like things that were, that I wanted to do, and things that I thought would never happen. Out of the 9 things that I put on my board just in June, already 5 of them have happened. And they're silly, like, you know, Jess is saying, like, they could be small, they could be big. Like, one of the things that was on my dream board was hire a landscaper. I hate doing the yard. We have a huge lot. We have, you know, we have a lot of trees and bushes, and I hate doing the yard, and it all fell on me. And so I'm going to tell you, I put landscaper on my dream board. I didn't tell my husband. I didn't share that with anybody. And literally within a week of me writing landscaper on my board, my husband came to me. He's like, honey, I think we need to hire a landscaper. And I was like, no way. Are you serious? And then, like, one of the other things that's on my dream board was buy an RV. And so that's something that, you know, I wanted to save up for, wanted, you know, to use my business to pay off. And again, about a month after I put RV on my dream board, my husband came to me. He's like, honey, I think we should look into buying an RV. And I was like, this is like trippy. You know, it was crazy. And although those seemed like silly and far-fetched, as far as like the RV, not the landscaper necessarily, but it was more, you know, it happened, and and it was my husband that came to me that said it. So it was just really, it's just really cool. And so if you know, I just find with anything, if you know what's holding you back, you know, in this case, it was just putting pictures on a dream board. If you know what's holding you back, then if you actually know, then you can work through that yourself, and it helps to move you forward. It's when you don't reflect and when you don't understand what's holding you back, then you stay where you are, you know. And so that is the one thing that I learned just from that experience. It was just one of those things that I was letting something silly hold me back, that I didn't have magazines in my house, you know, stupid. So I found a different way. And, you know, and maybe this year I'll, you know, add pictures, maybe not. But like, even another thing that I put on my dream board was see the aurora borealis. Hello, warmer of the month, December. I think I need to be more specific with that one. So, but it's just like, you know, little things that, you know, it just puts something into motion. And it also, back to what Jess was saying, as far as, you know, giving you a focus. And when you don't know what to do, having some sort of a dream board and some sort of visual will help reset your system, so you know exactly what direction you need to take. So whether it's a word and words on a dream board, or your visual and you need pictures, whatever it is, don't let anything hold you back. And if you do feel like you're being held back, really take a look inside and find out what that is. And, you know, maybe that can be your word for the year, you know, something that's holding you back. So.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You just brought me back to when you said be a little bit more specific. I have been there. Like I said, the laws of attraction is so powerful, you guys. And that's an example right there. She just literally put it out there, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, it wants to literally answer what, you know. I'm a big believer in our higher power of Heavenly Father, and I feel like he wants to bless you in any way that you want. You just have to put it out there and let him know what you want, or it could be just the universe of whatever you believe in. But it's very powerful, and it's you are a being in this world that wants to be favored, and but you have to believe that you have the worth. And sometimes it's hard. That's why sometimes we struggle with what we want, because deep down we don't know if we're worth it, or, you know, why should I have that? Why should I be able to hire a landscaper? Why should I, you know, this and that? And you brought me back to when I first put a housekeeper on my dream board. Like, my kids were so small. My husband was going TDY all the time. I'm like, my house was just turning into shambles because my business was growing so fast I couldn't even breathe. And I was like, I need somebody to be able to just clean my house at least twice a month, just so it's not disgusting, you know. And I thought it was kind of it was petty, or whatever the word is. I was kind of embarrassed to say I want a housekeeper. It's like, who am I to have a housekeeper, you know? And but Becca Levi said to me, he's like, you know what, if that's something you want and you're struggling, also think about it this way. You're giving somebody else an opportunity for employment. And that's
100%.
what Michelle's family's doing. That's what I'm doing. And when you look at it, how you're helping somebody else, it's so much easier to put your money in that area, because you don't feel selfish. You don't feel like, oh, this is, well, we're both benefiting here. Like, I'm getting my house clean and I'm employing somebody and helping them pay their bills. And that's what helped me with a lot of things that I do, like hiring the pooper scooper, because my dang kids are just not consistent enough. And I know it's probably my fault in parenting, just to tell them, get your butts out there and do it. But it was a struggle every month. They would do it and they wouldn't. And I was like, I just can't have this stress. Like, I have 4 dogs now, but 3 huge dogs. And it was an issue. And it's funny, when I went to a leadership with at Becca's in Florida, she shared how I got the crap out of my life because I hired a pooper scooper. And I can't tell you how much stress that relieved me in my personal life, in my family's life. And so I love how you shared, Michelle, because, you know, I'm a visual person and I need to see it to understand. That's why pictures are important for me. But I also, seeing words is visual for me too. So I would have words and photos on my dream board, and I haven't done it yet. Obviously, I've been a little setback, but here's some things that happened when I put together my first dream board. Michelle knows this story very well. I was going through a magazine that I had to, like, it's hard to find magazines, right? If you don't have like subscriptions to them, it's really hard. So I had to like beg people to like save their magazines, and so it was definitely a task for me. But I was flipping through one of them and I saw this beautiful picture of like blue waters and these beautiful like houses on a mountain. And I was just so drawn to it. I was like, that is gorgeous. I don't know where the heck that is, but I want to go there. So I cut out the picture, and I don't know why I didn't read what was attached to it. I don't know why I didn't know where it was, but I put it on my dream board. And literally not even a year later, I was standing in the picture, in the spot where that person must have taken the photo, because all of a sudden I started crying and I realized, holy crap, this is the freaking picture that I put on my dream board. It was Greece, you guys. I didn't know I wanted to go to Greece, but something about it was drawn to me. And once I put it on my dream board, the laws of attraction started working. And then months later, they announced, we're going to Greece. We're doing our first top 100, levels of incentives. And you know what I said? The second they said that, top 100, I said, yeah, right. That's not me. And then I took another minute and I said, why not? Why not me? Why? Like, all these other people they all have to do the same thing I would have to do. And so why not me? And so once I changed that mindset, I started really dissecting the incentive structure at that point. And I realized all it was what I was doing already, but I had to be more intentional and track what I was doing. That was the only difference from what I was doing before, which I earned all the trips before, but that higher level of like, points and whatever, all I had to do is just be a little bit more intentional. And here's another example of that you can put on your board. Again, people don't have to understand what it means. So I put a picture, and this is funny. I put this picture of a beautiful, I don't know if this is politically correct, but African-American woman. She was beautiful. She had this big smile, beautiful hair, and I was drawn to her. I said, oh my gosh, she looks happy. She looks like a good person. That's the type of people I want on my team. So when somebody looked at it, they were like, what you want, you want a chick on your team? What do you want? Somebody with nice teeth, because she had a great smile. But for me, I knew that I wanted somebody that I was drawn to. I wanted people that was on this journey with me, that drew me to them, which means they were a positive person in my life and made me happy because they were happy. Okay. Do you know that not months later, or people are still joining, I don't know how much long, but literally not much longer after I put that on there, I met director Lauren Cliff's sponsor. the person that I sponsored. And she was the same. I was attracted to her the same way I was to her. Like she was happy and vibrant and just sweet. And she taught me one of the biggest lessons I ever had in Scentsy is that those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. Because one day I showed up to her house with her. She was my hostess at the time, and I was late delivering her stuff. I had a really bad day. I was stressed out. I felt bad because I told her to be there at like 5 and it was like 5:30. And when I got there, I was just apologizing. I'm so sorry. I don't want to mess up your schedule. You know, I really appreciate your time and I'm so sorry I'm late. And she's like, girl, you need to stop. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, because those that don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. She's like, I don't mind. I know you're human. I know that you care. I know you did your best to be here. And guess what? She ended up sponsoring one of my one of the people that got me to the next level in my business, which I promoted to star director that year because Lauren Cliff joined and she became a director. And so you just don't know where these visions are actually going to take you. I didn't know that this person was going to sponsor my next director for me. You know, so I just knew that whatever I saw, it was a positive thing. And I wanted that positivity in my life. And so I also went as far as putting down, like, I want people that are in like, you know, certain professions. Like I want people to see that Scentsy can add value to everybody. Not just the stay-at-home mom like me that's trying to put some milk in the refrigerator. So I started putting pictures of doctors on there and attorneys and people that were running. Like, you know, I need somebody that will motivate me to stay fit, you know? So I wanted a fit person on there that goes running. Like Michelle, she runs every morning. And as much as I don't do that, but she still inspires me. One day I'll get there. and so, you know, this vision turns out to be so much more than we even realize is going to happen. The laws of attraction gets a hold of it and starts working for you. And so you may have a vision of this small, which may be just a word or a small picture that you don't even know why you like the picture, but it turns into reality before you even know it. So I wanted to open it up to anybody that has experience with setting a word for the year and how it helped you, or dream boards. It doesn't have to do with Scentsy. Maybe you did one with something else in your life, but I'd love for you to share some things you've had on it and that you've accomplished, if you don't mind. I could talk all day about the things that have come true in my life because of a dream board, but I want to hear from you guys if there's anybody that's willing to share. Just unmute yourself. Oh, Nadia. Yay.
Okay, I'll break the ice there. Okay.
So cute.
So dream board for this last trip, I did not hit level 1 for the trip, but I learned how to hit level 1 for the next trip. And I had like some Star Wars stuff on there because it was Disney, right? And so I think the universe was just like, oh, we'll just release a whole bunch more Star Wars stuff.
Yay!
So, for you to buy, and
for me to buy. Yay!
So more Disney things for you to collect. So, but for my word, the first word kind of that I had thought was balance, but I think I didn't quite know where that would how that would motivate me. I feel that would kind of bring me, I think that would center me a little bit. But so the word I thought of was ask.
Nice.
Because there's so many things that I don't ask for. I mean, it goes for anything. I mean, in Scentsy, it's, you know, asking for people to host parties, or asking, you know, if they want to join. But take it back, it's asking how people are doing. It's asking people questions to find out how I can help them, right? So then going back to kind of that balance thing, the way to, I think, get out of that when I become unbalanced with work life and whatever, uh, ask for help. I'm not necessarily so
Yes.
great at that. So, so I think that would kind of help. Ask how other people have maybe solved the problem that I'm currently faced. So I'm thinking ask might be how I get myself um, kind of motivated, because whatever it is I'm going through, instead of sitting there feeling like I'm alone in it and I don't know how to get out of it, I have a ton of resources to ask and find some solutions. So I think that that will motivate me.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Because it's true. Like we don't know until we ask, right? And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be just Scentsy, but you're right. It's definitely focused. Scentsy is a very good place to start because they always say like you're one no away from yes, and if we're not asking, the answer is always no. But then you're right. Like something personal in your life could be, you know what? I want this to happen in my house. How am I going to go about this? You ask somebody that is doing it or has it in their life or whatever. I absolutely love that. You said something that I wanted to comment on, and now I'm totally forgetting what it was. Dang it! But
Dream board for
huh?
the dream board, or
Oh yeah, it is the dream board. But now I got to remember what it was going to be. Dream board, dream board, dream. Okay, hopefully it'll come to me, you guys. I have no idea.
that I
But
didn't win the trip, but I learned how to win.
oh,
I knew you. I know you.
thank you. You do. Okay, so dream boards also can get you on the path to be closer to the goals that you like to have than if you didn't set the goal and you didn't put it on your dream board. So the fact that she was able to say, okay, this is my goal. If you really look at what you did last year, your first year of the business, you've come a long way, right? And if you weren't intentionally striving to earn that trip, those actions you took wouldn't have happened as consistently, or maybe not even happened, right? Could you agree with that, Nadia? Yeah, okay. So sometimes we're not always going to have the actual specific thing happen, but maybe it happens in a different way, or we learn something, or we realize that that's not even really what I want. So but it just gives us a perspective and something to work towards. And like I said, it turns into something else sometimes. um and there, when Michelle shared about having to be more specific, there's something that I wanted to share because it's very important, because you do get what you ask for, honestly. And that there's your word. It's you so you have to, they say be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And if you're not specific with what you want and why you want it, with yourself at least, you don't have to like put that on your dream board like this is why I want my, but you need to know why you want it there, and what it's going to do for your life, what's gonna sorry, um what it's gonna take to get that, and what sacrifices might entail in order to get that. Because sometimes we have to sacrifice in certain areas in order to grow in others. And so it is very important to be specific, because if you're just throwing things out there, you may end up getting what you want, and it's not exactly what you wanted because you didn't think clearly enough about what that means to your life. Okay, so oh, I got it, you guys. See, I think when I talk, so before Scentsy, and some of you guys might have heard this, but I heard about writing down what you want, like Michelle did. She's a journaler, so she journaled about what she wants, and that's an actual dream board version of, that could be a dream board. It's like you're sharing what you want and putting your thoughts on paper. So before I met Mitch, I sat down and started writing a list of everything I wanted in a spouse, because I was ready. I was 23, and I was like, well, shoot, I feel like I'm ready to settle down, and my clock is ticking here, so I don't even have a boyfriend. So I literally wrote down everything I wanted in a spouse, in a partner, or whatever. And I remember reading like even to the smallest thing, like, I put that I want to be able to rest my head right in his chest, like, and feel that comfort and protection. And you guys know how big Mitch is, and I'm small, I am. So that to the T happened. But one thing I didn't say, and the world, God had a plan for me and it worked out that way anyways. But one thing that I always said to myself, but I didn't put it on the paper. So I had to deal with that repercussion is I wanted somebody that didn't have like a past, like marriage or a kid that I had to deal with. Well, guess what? Because of those two things I didn't put down on paper, he was married before and he had a kid, and boy did I pay for it for the first few years of our marriage, because it was a very ugly past. And so, but all the other things that I was very specific was it outweighed that little area. But I would always laugh to myself and say, man, I told myself, oh, and I always said I'd never date a military guy. So all the three things that I swore I didn't want in a man, he was all three of them. But he also had, oh gosh, sorry. I'm getting too worked up. My body's like, slow down. But the good things that I did literally write out, very specific things. I literally met him 2 weeks later, you guys. I didn't know that he was going to be the, guy I was going to marry. But the second I saw him, well, I did actually. The second I saw him, he was like probably about a good, I don't know, 15 feet away from me. So it was a distance, not really a distance, but I saw him and something came over me and said, I'm going to marry that guy. Never spoke to him, didn't even see him full on. He was just from the side. And then I found out he was going through this ugly divorce and all this. I was like, whoa, that's so wrong. But then 8 months later, we ended up connecting and talking, and we've been together ever since. So I hope that's a good example of really take time and think like not only what you do want, but think about what you don't want as well. Because if that makes a difference in what you want, and it really helps you. Because you may say, like for instance, I'm getting all sweaty because I'm working up. Hold on. I'm trying to give good examples here, but I hope that makes a really clear example of you get what you ask for. If you don't put down, but I don't want this, it may happen anyways, because it comes along with that person, and believe me, that's the one thing that I'm happy that I got the bigger package and then had to deal with that minorly. But when you talk about, I'm sure you guys have heard of like your dream team. Okay. We all know, let's face it, guys, the way you're going to maximize this compensation plan and really start making the money that people are making and be able to retire if you want and pass your business down to other people, to your family, you've got to grow a team, and there's no way around it. And so you've got to think about who you want those people. Who do you want on your team, on your dream team? Who makes you happy when you're with them? Who has strengths that you don't have? What skills that they have that you think is going to help their business. So pay attention to those things and put those on your dream board as far as who your dream team is. So, maybe you're really bad at spelling. You want somebody on your team that's a good speller that can help you with that, or that's really organized and you're not, or whatever. There's so many things, because your team is an extension of you. Your team is going to help you be the person that you're not, and help you be more than what you are. Because all of you guys, I can't do what I do without you guys. I learn from you every day. I don't have half the skills that a lot of you guys have, that most of you have. And if I do, it's because I've learned from my team. And I'm not bagging on myself, but I wasn't educated. I never been a leader. I never managed anybody. I'm not that I managed a team, but you know what I'm saying? I never was in a leadership position. And so everything was new to me. I didn't know where I wanted to go in my life. I had no, I thought I wanted to be a singer at one point. That was like the furthest I went with a career. And then when I became a professional singer, I didn't want to be a singer anymore. It wasn't it wasn't what I thought it was. And so I had to kind of swallow my pride and say, you know what? It's okay that I don't know as much as my own team members do, because that's what a team is about, right? It's not about you knowing everything. It's just like as a parent, we want them to be a better version of us. That's what leadership is to see others thrive and become a better version of what you've done and do it better. And so when I see you guys out there rocking your businesses and being amazing leaders, that's, to me, that's my goals being accomplished. Because if I can support you to do better than I did and have less falls on your faces and less struggles, then that's accomplishing my goal as a leader. Nina, do you have anything to share, Mama, on like choosing a word for the year or dream boards? I know that you share with your team a lot about how you put your director sticker in your eyesight, like for a year, right?
Right. So I actually have my vision boards actually upstairs in my office area.
Awesome.
So, but yes. So when I was trying to hit director middle last year, you gave me that director sticker, and in my hallway. So when I come down the stairs, there's a little hallway, and when I go in there, there's this board where I can pin stuff. I put that sticker there so that every day when I walk down the stairs and every night when I go to bed, I walk by it and I saw that director sticker, and it just put it in my mind that, hey, I'm going to accomplish this year. That's my goal. And then sure enough, September was when I hit director. But yeah, I did notice that once I started updating my board, which I did the beginning of the year, and I started adding stuff to it, I was able to check off a good amount of half the board. The Disney trip, Disney was on there. The Disney World was on there. I was short a couple of sponsoring points, but in my mind, I was able to accomplish what I could on my end as much as I could. So in my mind, I that. So, but you know,
great mindset.
Yes, exactly. So, but yeah, if you put stuff in your mind, whether it's words or phrases, it doesn't necessarily have to be a dream board. So I actually had one of my downlines, Rebecca, because I have 2 leadership programs that I'm doing right now. One is Lead to Lead, and the other one is Sort of Superstar.
Cool.
So I have a couple of my downline that are participating in that, and I had made them do their dream boards. So I had Rebecca was one of them, and I had her share her dream board, because it doesn't necessarily have to be, what do we call it? Like I had a poster board or one of those, those science experiment type boards. Yeah. I have mine on there. Some people put it, they make a binder cover and they put it on their binder, print out it and put it on their binder. Some people, like my director sticker, I had that pinned on, a board where I can see it every day. The other place you can do it is just by simply taking one of those dry erase markers and just writing on your bathroom mirror, and you see it every single day. So those are just like simple little things, like with my husband when he was dieting, you put a picture on the refrigerator or some kind of goal on the refrigerator, and you see it every single day, and you visualize it, you see it.
Right.
And when you see it, you're seeing that target, you're visualizing it, and you know what you want, to go after. So
absolutely. You reminded me also of if you come to my house, there's like Post-it notes everywhere. And so if you go into the refrigerator, it'll say something. If you go to where our, all over the place, when you're leaving the house, there's a little Post-it note of something to remind us to like build rapport with people, to smile, to reevaluate, where you're going, like little things. And so it's their little reminders. That's a version of a dream board as well, of just the person you want to be, or the where you want to be moving towards. And then you also reminded me of something else, and now again I'm forgetting.
There's something that Nick and I do, my husband and I do. So, and we do it still occasionally, but we used to do it all the time. So we would leave Post-it stickers or Post-it notes with little phrases and stuff on them for one another, whether it was on the bathroom mirror, on the refrigerator, or in our car on the steering wheel. So there are little inspirational messages that we would leave each other, and it helped either start off your day on the right foot, or it helped put whatever you had to remember in your mind. So
I love that. That is so sweet as a marriage to do that.
yes, yes.
Great strategy as well. What I was going to say is that my very first dream board, you guys, we were dirt broke. I couldn't afford to go get even a poster board when I joined Scentsy. I used my last dime. And so what I did is that I went on the internet and I saved pictures and I just literally put it onto a Word document and just made them all fit. And it was just a 8.5 by 11 Word document. And then I put it as my desktop on my computer because I didn't even have a printer at that time when I first started Scentsy. So but I can honestly say that every single thing that was on that dream board, I've been through, I mean, let's face it, I've been almost 10 years now, a lot of dream boards. And some were really elaborate, like what Nina just said, like the science experiment ones. But they started out on just a computer of just grabbing pictures from Google and putting on a Word document. And every time I logged onto on my desktop, I would see that. And one of the biggest ones at the time is my son was right at the age that he was getting interested in baseball. And it broke my heart because I was like, there is no way we're going to be able to afford for him to go to baseball. And I put that on. My daughter wanted to do gymnastics. Those were two things that they might as well have been, spending $100,000 on a new pool at the time. That's how broke we were. But I knew if I put it there, it would keep me going every day to, listen to a training call, to try something that's hard that I don't necessarily feel I have the ability to do. And it pushed me for them, not for me. So I want to also share with you guys that I shared on our we just finished up a grow with us program that was for lead consultants and above to do the program with us. But anyways, one thing I said to a couple of the consultants that shared their experience with like sponsoring, where their struggles are, is that we have also, when you focus on others, not like your own result, like, why do I want this? How is this going to help my family, not just me? How is this going to help somebody else or whatever? Like, it's going to give somebody a job, or it's going to help my kids go to baseball. All of a sudden, your ability and your strength and your courage becomes so much greater because you're not doing it for yourself. And that's really what sponsoring is about, is always looking at how you can add value to their life. And it's easier to ask, because if you're thinking about you, like, oh, I'm going to promote, or I'm going to make more money, or I'm going to grow my team, then when they say no, it's that much harder. And it's even harder to ask. But if you're thinking about how you're going to help somebody else's life, all of a sudden those like scary things kind of go out the window, because we're built for service, you guys. Like, our hearts are literally built to serve other people. That's what really fills our cup, whether we realize it or not. And so you can make all kinds of money with Scentsy. Let's face it, you guys, it's an insane amount of money you can make with Scentsy. But as much money as you can make, it's not going to fulfill you and make you feel happy and complete if you're not serving. And so if you put your focus on serving others and adding value to them, sponsoring isn't going to be so hard for you. Because it's not about, oh man, they said no to me. It's more like, oh darn, well, pour them, because there's a lot that can offer them. And you're just going to say, okay, well, it's always available for you. And you move on, because it's not about you, it's about them, right? Jolene, you just came on. Did you have anything to share, honey?
When you said about baseball and the gymnastics for the kids, I have to say that I actually put that on my dream board, like goals, about I guess it's 3 years ago now, for my daughter to go out for a travel team here in Jersey.
Okay.
They're about $4,000 to join, like the
I know.
like absolutely insane. But I have to say that from this and from Scentsy is actually what was able to pay for her to do travel. But now she's going to college on a softball scholarship.
Oh my
So
gosh, good for her.
it all makes it worth it. Like, so when you put it there, it's like there's like the bigger picture. So it's like, yeah, spending all that money for like those sports, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But when you see, but it actually does have the nice benefits that comes along with it. So yeah, I will say that. And then our goals this year are paying for her to get through college, because now she has to move into an apartment because of COVID. So they're not all on campus. So now we have to supply all of that and everything else.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's absolutely like, oh yeah, time to up the game.
Did you know that when you become a director, there's scholarships opportunities for your kids through Sensi?
I noticed that. I saw that last year.
Oh, good. Yeah. So that's something to
Yes,
work
I did.
towards. So I know a few people that when they found that out, they didn't know they wanted to be a director. They didn't really wasn't like important to them. And when they found out that that was something, it encouraged them for their children. Like, okay, well, if that's what I need to do in order to help more opportunity financially to help my kids go to college where they want to go or whatever, it made them move in that direction. So that's really cool.
All of schools paid for. We just had to pay for room and board and her the hell's the other thing? Room, board, and her meal plan or whatever, but all that still equals about 20 grand.
Yeah, that's a pretty penny.
It's insane. It's absolutely nuts how much it adds up. It's like, wow, you don't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially I notice when we're moms of like really small kids, we don't really think about what the financial burden's going to be later on in life because they're so small and we're like, we've got time. But then out of nowhere, they're 13 years old or 15 or going off to college, and you're like, oh crap, I wish I would have planned a little bit better, you know? So
Yeah. Sometimes you don't have that ability either when you're like a single, like, I mean, I was a single mom raising her. So it's like, you don't always have that option, but that's why it's like, it's so great. It's like, if she did not get the softball scholarship and we did not get through like the travel teams and all that, then we'd be looking at, if she went to that college, it's about 60 grand a year, 62,000 a year.
holy crack. What school is she going to?
Arcadia University in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'm
It's a, yes, it's like a small private intimate school, but it's a very hard school to actually get into. Like her class size, I think, is at the most 10 students.
wow, that's amazing. Well,
It
good
is.
for you did something great with your kid.
That's what I'm saying. This,
For
the
you,
paying
mama.
for the sports and the gymnastics, it pays off.
Absolutely, right? Melissa, do you have any? Thanks for sharing, Jolene. I appreciate it. And congratulations. That's so awesome.
Yes, good for her.
Right? Melissa, do you have anything to share?
You guys were talking about dream boards, and a couple of years ago in 2019, I think you did a training like this on dream boards, and I put one together. I was one of those people that was like, dream board, I don't want to do that. Like it just seemed cheesy to. I remember you had a meeting, you had one of those Wednesday meetings. It was like first Wednesday of the month. Everybody I think came to your house. You had like cutouts from a magazine or whatever. I wasn't able to make it. I ended up having to work last minute, but I promised myself that I was going to put it together. I was like, I need to stop like having preconceived notions about the things that I think are dumb or whatever, and just do it, because like all these people are doing the things and I'm not doing the things, and I got to figure out how to do the things. So I put together a dream board, and I wanted to show that to you. I don't know if I can. Let me.
Oh, I'd love it to see
Hold
that.
on. How do I go here? Can you see that? Wait.
Yeah,
that's me.
you're sharing your screen.
Okay, but that's me, right?
That's you. We don't see what I could see you're sharing, but you're not
How do
sharing
I-
what you're trying to share.
I'm trying to flip. Darn it, I'm trying to flip. Okay, so we're just gonna do it this way. Hold on.
If you're on your phone, it's at the top left-hand corner by the speaker thing.
Up here, I see it says resume can't. Oh, that's not right. Oops, where'd you go? Are you there?
We're here.
Okay. It's this thing like froze on me.
Oh, yeah, you're frozen, but we can hear you, but your face is frozen.
Okay, let's try that. Okay, so I'm just gonna
Try
do
it
it this
one
way.
more
So I have this like little tiny closet in here. I don't know if you can see. So this is my dream board. Like, okay, so I have all these things. Like I just recently did this one. Can you see it? Wait, where is it? Right here. Shoot, can you see that?
Oh, your kitchen?
No, it's an office.
Oh, an office.
Oh, yes. So right now, my entire life is scattered all around my house, like Scentsy. It's like I'm growing, which is great, but I have no room. like no room, and it's driving everybody crazy. So, man, too bad. Oh, I found it. Look, choose
Yay.
bright. There it is. Okay.
Yay.
So, yeah, so like I just marked this off. This is my home office. So I just bought a desk. I'm moving into the loft upstairs. I'm gonna have all my stuff. I'm so excited. And so I started this in 2019 because I wanted to do annual mentor award. It says 2019, my name is on it. Like I want to do all of these things like annual sales. I have like all my charms that I want to earn. And I've been able to mark off a lot of them, like the shooting star charms. I want to be a director. I want to be a star director. I want to be able to travel in an RV. I want to be a superstar director. Like I want a dream home. Like I have all the, oh, like I put Marco Island on here and I earned it. I went to New Zealand instead.
Yay.
And what else do I have on here? Like you can see all my charms. Oh, like I put luggage because I knew that luggage, and then I ended up earning the luggage in the summer thing. So I had to specify there the director incentive luggage. And I don't know, I think dream boards like I promoted a star consultant, and I think there's a superstar consultant on here somewhere. Not sure where it went. I know it's on here. Like I want to be able to quit my job. I want to be consistent. Like I want a cleaning service like you.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be a family business. And then these guys, like these bubble mailers, like I love collecting these because this is where the little charms come in. So every time I see one of these, I'm like, yay! So I put them on my dream board because I want that. And so and then like a pool, like I want a pool someday. But I think like I was super like, dream boards are stupid. Like, and then now like, it's like Nina said, I was able to mark off like half of my dream board just by putting one out there. And so I think it's like the law of attraction, what you put out there will come back to you. And like, that was my way of like, when you were talking about with your husband, how you had lists of things that you wanted, that's what a dream board is. It's putting into the universe, like what you want. And then it's like goals, you see it, you're going to achieve it. Like Nina and her director sticker above the stairs, you see it every day, you achieve it. And so that's why, I was like, man, dream boards are stupid, but now I think they're not. So.
You're so awesome. I love that. That's so cool.
Hey, Melissa, be sure to put a pool boy on there so you don't have to clean your own pool.
Yeah.
I have two sons.
Oh, you're good then.
That's awesome. Speaking of a pool, you guys, I put a pool on my dream board the year that we bought this house. Well, one of my things was to buy a house because we never owned a house before. And I had this like desire to have a house that I could like watch it being built and all that stuff from scratch. And I had like a vision of what my office would look like and all that stuff. And we ended up buying this house, but our backyard is still not landscaped. And so my pool has been on my dream board for, I think I think we're going on 8 years in this house. And we're finally putting in a pool in the next month or so. I know, crazy, but we could have done it sooner, you guys, but we're like very big on like not collecting debt. And so the last 8 years, we've been literally saving and letting Scentsy be that avenue to be able to make that final dream come true with our home. And so even if something isn't happening, always remember like, why is it not happening? Instead of feeling discouraged, like we could have just went and got a big old loan, right, of $100,000, but we didn't want that kind of a debt. And so we were patient, I didn't mention that was when I was talking, but my downline just started her dream board and she did it on a cork board. Oh yeah. So, I mean, it really could be anywhere. One thing I wanted to say, because when Melissa was talking, it made me realize that I stopped writing down my monthly goals, you guys, for a couple years. And when I started writing my goals down again, I've been hitting them every month, and which is crazy. And I know in the last few years, I haven't even like tried to earn the incentive because I just wasn't there. I just wasn't, which means I wasn't serving other people the way I should have. I wasn't in the mindset of service. I was so messed up inside that I felt like I didn't have the energy to put into other people. So I didn't strive to earn those trips, and I didn't. But as soon as I changed my mindset and was ready to like, wait a minute, this incentive isn't about me and where I'm going. It's about teaching me to continue to serve other people and help other people. And that I had to like remind myself that I had something to offer, because my self-esteem was so just shot down when things happened in my life that I felt like I didn't have anything to offer people. And so that confidence I had to be reminded of all the things that I was doing the years prior. And one of the small little things was just writing it on my little white erase board. Is that what it's called? And I could see it from my desk right now. It says PRV 3000, new recruits, 1 to 3 people, how many promote in my front line, my wholesale volume. I put a wholesale volume for my group wholesale volume, a number that I thought was like insane, you guys, and we did it. And when we did it, I was like, holy crap, I need to start writing my goals down again. And then I put, we're going to Disney World, and I put exclamation points, and I saw it every single day, and we earned it. And so it's so, people will think like, well, wouldn't everybody do that if it's that simple? Yeah, but not everybody has the determination to make their lives be what they want it to be. And so unfortunately, there's a small percentage of people that actually take their lives into their own hands and take control of it and say, this is what I want, this is what I'm willing to do for it. And I'm willing to break it down, and I'm even willing to go through some sacrifices and hard times in order to get there. So you basically have to just ask yourself, how bad do I want it? Tell yourself that you deserve it, because every single person does. And then start visualizing yourself there. I know we're over. I'm just going to share one last thing. Nadia, when she first joined, I shared with her the Secret, the movie, and she watched it, which blew me away, because most new consultants are like, say what? I don't want to watch no dang movie, and she did it, which is a lot of why her business has grown the way it has, when she really, really didn't think it was going to happen because of COVID. But one of the things that in that movie, I suggest everybody to watch it or read the book. It says, not only think about, let's say, a car, say you want a new car, maybe you need a new car or just want a new car. Don't just think about it. Don't just put a picture on your dream board. Go to the dang dealership, get your butt in the seat, feel the steering wheel, smell what the car smells like, go on a test drive. And that is going to make that experience that much more powerful, and the laws of attraction is going to work for you that much faster. It may not be something you can actually physically do, like go sitting in a car, but if you can, literally stop and visualize yourself being in the atmosphere where you want to be or who you want to be. Again, there's so many in 10 years, but one of my biggest things and first things I put on my dream board was I went to our Scentsy family reunion 3 months after I joined, because it just happened to land on that. And I saw from a distance, like we were in like a stadium type thing. So there was people on the other side, and there's people on the floor, and then there was people over here. And I looked across the room, and there was this like block full of all these people in one color of blue. And I literally was sitting there and I was like, man, one person started all that. One person said yes. One person, somebody offered the opportunity to, and it turned into all of that. And it was the power of one theme. Heidi always has a certain theme that she talks about every year. And it was about the power of one. And she showed this video of like a horse running and its hair flowing, and you could hear the trampling of the horse. And all of a sudden it kept adding more horses, and you hear this stampede. And that's what the name of the reunion was. It was Stampede was the name of because we were in Texas. And I heard the sound, and I saw the visual, and then I saw the visual of this big, huge team. And I said, that's what I want. I want to grow an organization of amazing people. I want all those blue shirts. I'm like, I want a bunch of blue shirts at reunion. And the next year I had like 40 people at reunion, and my team was like 75, but I had like 40 people because it was here in Vegas. So a lot of them were here. But the next thing that I wanted is that I listened to, she's a superstar director named Jamie Sullins. If you could look her up, she's incredible. She was talking about why you should grow your team. And she just inspired me so much. She's now a friend of mine, which is awesome. And I said, I want to be on stage one day and share my story of making my dreams come true because of Scentsy. That's what I said to myself. And so I took a picture of the stage of reunion, and I visualized myself standing on the stage and seeing a huge, you know, auditorium of people, of Scentsy consultants, and being able to share my story, not because I wanted fame or be, you know, look at me, but I wanted to show people it was possible. So I pretty much pegged myself as I'm going to be an example, no matter how hard it is, how many times I fall on my face, how many no's I get, how many people think I'm crazy Scentsy lady. I want to be an example to people that you can make your dreams come true. And do you know, when I was in the bus going to Athens in Greece, which was one of my, you know, dreams coming true, I did that again. I was on the bus, and Mitch actually took a picture of me when I was sitting there, like he thought I was sleeping, but I was visualizing. I was visualizing myself being on stage and sharing my story. And this was like 3 years after that first experience. Do you know that I got home from Greece on a Sunday, and that Monday, Jason Harwood called me and asked me and Mitch to be on the guest speaker in general session that year. I literally fell to my ground and skinned up my knees because I was at a park with my kids when he asked, because I was like, this crap is real. Like, this stuff really works. When I put myself there, I felt myself there. I heard the sounds of people, you know, all my friends screaming. And then that 2 months later, I was on stage and able to share my story. So what I'm trying to say, you guys, is you have all the equipment, all the tools, everything you need to do what you need to do in order to make this business give you your reality. You just have to claim it and believe that you are absolutely 100% worthy of anything that you dream. That's why I always say that God puts those visions in our minds, those dreams, we say it, because he's telling you this is what's possible for you. You just have to take it. And that's it. So I'm sorry we're so over. I'm thanking Heavenly Father that I've been able to sustain myself. I haven't talked this much in a few days. So but I know that I'm doing a service because I want you guys to know that you are absolutely amazing and you are worth it. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. And Nadia said, and let yourself feel the positive emotions to getting your dreams would make you feel. Yes. Yeah. Feel it, physically feel it, smell it. If it's, you know, if you're in a place that's going to smell a certain way, what are you smelling? What are you hearing? What are you touching? And put yourself there. And the rest, the laws of attraction is going to help you do it. Yeah, you have to take action. I'm not going to say it's just going to appear, but like Michelle's put it out in the universe, and the next week her husband said, let's buy an RV. There still has to be like actions that she takes in order to make sure she can afford that payment, right? Which I'm sure you guys all realize. But anyways, thank you guys. I hope this inspires you to figure out a word for the year, and then also start your vision board, dream board, journaling, whatever you need to do in order to keep yourself focused on what you want. All right, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Feel better.